if you've never worked in tech before. I think one of the most highly valuable and translatable skills is being a good writer. And of course, like there's tons of tools to make you a better writer, but a lot of work that we do in tech companies is written. So it's writing a doc, it's sending an email, it's sending a Slack message, it's following up with a prospect, it's communicating an idea. There's a lot of information that's captured in writing. It's answering a support ticket. It's like articulating something in a customer education document or whatever. So I think more than anything else, like that is a skill that if you're coming in from another career at teachers, like I love like teachers, I think as a career move, having a teacher come into your team and be thinking about how do you translate your skills in the classroom with educating and writing and some of the skills that are very much needed in technology companies is a great example. Think about the skills that are translatable, like writing, focus on those, and then be willing to like take a risk with something that, you might have to move down a level or multiple levels to get your foot in the door to make that pivot.
I like that.
I
Yeah.
love that. It's something that you can transfer. It reminds me a little bit of skills around being a good athlete and being good in sport, right?
Mhm.
Specific sport.
Yeah.
Another question I have for you is you're probably facing that question quite often as a leader, right? Like, hey, I see, at some point I want to enter the kind of leadership
Mhm.
path. So, what are the kind of a piece of advice you giving your team members or other people that are asking you to mentor them, or in general, on progressing towards that goal?
The first thing I think is like, don't wait for someone to make you a leader. Leadership is something that any role can display. Think about opportunities. Being a leader doesn't mean being a people leader. Being a people leader is a way to be a leader, but it's not the only way. So think about like what are the ways in your existing role you can show up and you can demonstrate leadership through the work you're already doing. And then I think the second thing is like, this is really for women. This is my feedback for women, especially. I think it probably applies more broadly, but there is a real inflection point that happens when you're trying to become a director or a VP. And it's much harder than you think. I think a lot of women who are traditionally like very high performing, they tend to be like kind of workhorses. Like, I can do anything, I can get everything done. I've always been a type A student. I've never had an assignment that was late. I like, I do all the things that no one else will do, and I do them better than anyone else. That is awesome for getting to, you might be promoted quickly early in your career, and then you get to this like what feels like a ceiling and you don't know how to break through that ceiling to prove that you are indeed director or VP level material. And I think really that is about recognizing that you need to shift in how you are positioning yourself and packaging up your work. So instead of showing like this is all the stuff that I've done, this is the what, you need to start thinking about like why, how are you tying your work back to business outcomes, because the business outcomes are going to be the things that executives are looking for, someone who can align their work with business outcomes at that director and VP level. And it is a weird mindset shift, but I think it's a really important thing to consider when you're looking to keep growing in your career as a leader.
I like that a lot. You have to start to think about like marketing yourself to a degree, and but that shift of like the what to the why. Women are incredible, no offense, Demetrius, and will do most
And
things that you throw at them, but it's very different. So, yeah.
it's more likely that you might get like sucked into like, I'm doing so much, I'm working so hard, I'm doing all of these tasks, why won't I get promoted? And I think it's about like the tasks and like the perfect execution might be the thing that's actually like kind of minimizing like how you show up as an executive.
Yeah, it's the taking notes in a meeting. Like women
Oh,
are always
100%.
taking the
Yeah,
notes, and sometimes I'm like,
don't volunteer for that.
I'm not taking the notes. I'm sitting here and contributing.